Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this Christmas card making project. In this project we're going to make a gorgeous layered card with lots of different decoupage layers to build up a gorgeous Christmas card. Everything I do use I shall put in a detailed list on my blog. I always include lots of extra photos, and at the moment I'm just testing the fact that I'm adding some links as well, just to give you an idea of the products that I've used. If there isn't a link with the product, then it's not available to have a link. But it is the product title so that you'll know for reference if you've already got it, or if you're putting it on a wish list, etc., or looking to purchase it from somewhere else. There's always extra photos on my blog. There's so many different projects. There's always something on there for everybody. Feel free to share them. Please feel free to contact me. I love hearing from you. And I love it that you enjoy the projects. Okay, so let's make a great Christmas card. Now, the base card that I'm using is a 7x5" card. And I don't dwell on my cardometer enough because I always forget. Some people don't know what size that is. Now, this is an item that I've designed for videos, and it shows exactly the size of the card that we're using to give you a perspective at home and an idea. The largest on my cardometer is the A4. Then we go down to the A5, and then we go to the 7x5 size, and that's the size we're going to use today. And I know it's very difficult sometimes to get a good idea of the size that you're using, but this, I think, is, well, it's my favourite size, and it's it's a good area to cover it, whether you're advanced or whether you're a beginner, because it's not too big to have a large amount to cover, and it's not too small to be able to put in your great techniques, etc., if you're a bit more advanced. I've just used my bone folder to make sure that I've got a nice sharp edge along the side of the card, because that helps it stand up nicely and it makes it look more professional when you're finished. So we're going to do the inside first. Now, I know so many of you like the ideas for the insides, and for this we've been using the Christmas embossing folder, Christmas Bells, and I've done some of my flabossing, and I think that's what we're going to have to call it, and it's called flat embossing, but we'll call it flabossing. I think that's a great technical name for it, because it's a mixture of embossing and then flattening it down. I've embossed it using the Christmas Bells, and then I've inked it slightly around the edge, and then I've put it back through the die cutting machine just between the two plates and between some scrap paper, just to get it flat so that you can write through the centre. But you see, where you've inked it, it picks the pattern up around the edge, and it makes it look like it's still kind of embossed, but it is quite flat. It's not perfectly flat, but it's enough to write on. So that was just on normal ivory card, and I used two colours of ink. I used the Luminous Gold from Anna, and I used the Christmas Red, and that was from a couple of years ago, the Christmas Red. So I've just got flat tape on the back of this, and I'm just inserting it into the centre of the card. Now, already that gives the card some kind of structure for the inside and something a little bit different. But I'm also going to use one of the flat die cuts from the Vintage Christmas decoupage die cuts, and it's just a little sentiment. It says, "'Tis the season," and I've got flat tape on the back of it, and I'm just going to add it, I think, kind of through the centre. We'll go the centre and pop that on, so you've got room for your to and from, a little message, and your sentiment that wishes somebody, you know, all the joy of the season. Now we can turn our sentiments, our attention to the front of the card. And I've just used my bone folder again to make sure I've still got that nice sharp edge. Now, the first layer that we're going to use is a foil layer, and you can see that I've been economical with the centre, and I've taken the centre out. I've just lately been accused of not being economical with my cardstock, which maybe I'm guilty of in some videos, but I do try to help you save some money and maybe time, etc. So for this one we are being economical by taking the centre of the silver cardstock away, and we can use that either later on in the project or we can use it for something else. Now I would do this for the fronts of cards when you've got lots of layers, because you're not going to tell. But maybe for the inserts, because the insert is a lot flatter, I would probably use the full layer. So for this, I'm just laying it onto our card front, flat tape on the back of it and pressing it down. Now I've cut the centre out. I've not cut it straight, I just used a craft knife. I did it really quickly just to show you that you can. I've put it to one side, and now the next layer is going to cover up this aperture that we created from our base layer, because all we're using is the edge of the foil. So our next layer is the full layer, and I've used Anna's gold metallic cardstock from the 7x5 layers, and this is I've embossed it using the Christmas bells folder, and the detail is superb. I've trimmed it down so that it will create a great layer over our previous silver layer. So you might realise that we're using silver and gold for this one. I do like a mix of silver and gold. So I'm just going to pop that layer down. Now again, this is a flat layer. When I say flat, it's got flat tape on the back. It's not flat because it's embossed, but it's flat to the card front. So that's our next layer. And then we can start building. Now, the first thing I've done, and I just want to show you because we're going to break it down into elements. I've die cut using the silver foil cardstock from Anna, and I've die cut using one of the holly dies. Now these were available quite a long time. You wouldn't have to use this die, but if you've got something similar, or maybe snowflakes would work as well, or whatever you've got in your stash. Now there were some bell dies, etc. that I've seen that Anna had, and they would work as well. However, I'm using the holly, but I'm just going to cut it down slightly because I want to show you that just because we've got a very large die, you can use it in different ways. So I'm trimming this down. I have put 3D foam on the back of it, only for quickness, and I want to show you that we can break down the actual die that we've cut into different pieces. Now at home you'll probably take a little bit more time over this than I am doing, and then we can do the same again for another piece of holly and just snip away at it, and we're going to build up lots of layers using the holly pieces. We're probably not going to see a lot of the holly, however what we do see will make all that difference. So let's see if I think I've got enough. I think we'll just add another couple of pieces. Maybe, should we? Haven't trimmed that one very well, being very honest. So we'll just trim it a little bit more before I get lots of messages from people. So these have all been on 3D foam, and just building up the actual holly itself, and then we'll get to add in the vintage die cuts. There, I think we've maybe got enough there. So I've placed the holly around the card. Now I know you're thinking, oh, that looks a bit strange, Anne-Marie. Well, what's going to go here? Well, from the actual Christmas decoupage die cut, I've taken the bells, and it's a long string of bells. So there's 4 in a row. I've got 3D foam on the back of it, and all of the die cuts are numbered on the back. So this is F1. So on the same sheet you would pop out F2, so that's got F2 on the back. I've already put 3D foam on it. And then to build the layers, you pop one on top of the other with the 3D foam. And then the next one you take is F3, and you would build that on top as well. And then we have our full decoupage section, and I'm going to add that just slightly, not through the centre, just slightly to one side. So we see some of that holly poking out at one side. And now from the same collection, I've taken 5 of the sentiments that are in the collection, and what I've done is I've taken them and added 3D foam as I've slightly curled them in the highest section, and then flat tape a little bit further down, and I'm just going to add them just underneath the bells, but I'm not going to be really specific. She says, trying to move one of them. I'm not going to be really specific with how I'm placing them. I am just kind of adding them so that they all look a little bit like the random, if that makes sense. So there's 5 of the sentiments, and then I'm going to finish the card off just with a little red bow at the top of the bells. Now I think that is a gorgeous card. Silver and gold always marry up so well. And the bells from the decoupage with the foil from the holly and the inside, it just all works so well. Stands up nicely. Now for my friends across the pond, the postage on this, because you've got quite a few layers that you've built up, it might be a little bit more. So obviously you weigh your cards as you send them. So you could maybe do away with some of the foam pads to make it a little bit less high with the layers. However, for the effect, I think that just looks so pretty. Definitely a mantelpiece pleaser. And I do like the fact that we've got the bells for the inside as well as the outside. It's just such a pretty card. Ideal for Christmas. Now I won't say it's a quick make because you've got all your die cutting to do for the holly and then for the cutting out of it. However, it's well worth it. So I hope this has inspired you. I hope it's given you an idea of what you can use your dies for and the vintage Christmas die cut, because everything works so well together and looks so beautiful. So I'd just like to say thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time.